Okay, so we come to the main subject of this lecture, which is how to learn online. We have the internet now, is full of resources to learn Pali. So I will just go online and show you what it is like. So I'm just going to do a simple search on Internet Explorer, learn Pali, and see what comes up. So this is a Google search to learn Pali, and as you can see, we have 11 million results. If you want to learn Pali, there's 11 million things you can go and look at, web pages. That's a bit confusing. That's not so easy to go through. But on the first page, we have some useful things. Straight away, we have some good video links that you can go to. You can click on a free PDF book. Okay, so here's a good elementary Pali course book by Venerable Narada Thera. It's a good book. It's free. But let's say you know nothing about language learning and you've come in to try to learn Pali. You might not really understand what is happening in this book. Let's say you don't know you're not very expert, you have no expertise in language, and you want to learn Pali, and you download this free book. You might not know what this means. You have this table in front of you, a grammatical table. If you're used to learning languages, you understand. But for most people, they will think, okay, this is too difficult. I will not be carrying on with this. Okay, so if any of you are used to learning classical languages, you will know that in the left-hand side that nom stands for nominative, and you will know what the word nominative means. But if you've not learned classical languages, you don't know what that is. So this is a bit difficult. Very good resource, but it's a bit difficult unless you have a teacher, which would be the traditional way of learning. Okay, so that is just one of the free resources you can get, which is useful if you know what you're doing. Right away on this first page then, Google search for Learn Pali. You have this, which is a course in the Pali language from the Bodhi monastery. Now this is very good resource. This is Bhikkhu Bodhi, is an American monk who has translated much of the Pali canon into English. He's very well respected, he's an expert in Pali, and he has a free Pali course. So here it is. It's a series of lectures which are audio recordings. So if you click on any one of them, this is Bhikkhu Bodhi.
So we now begin our Introduction to Pali class.
Okay, so you get the picture, is that you can click on this and get Bhikkhu Bodhi's Introduction to Pali. It's very good. But how many? Oh, we lost it. Is it very easy to use? It might not be so easy to use if you don't really understand how to learn Pali. Now also these lectures by Bhikkhu Bodhi, they're quite long. So if you're a dedicated student, then this is a really good resource. But if you're a normal person, you might find it a little bit challenging. So that's just a couple of things that if you do a Google search, you can find out about learning Pali. 2 very good resources. Now if maybe you know they're very good because I'm explaining to you that they're very good. If you don't have any teacher here to tell you that they're very good, then you just have this. You have the internet and all of the results that come up on the internet about how to learn Pali. You can get lost because, how to find your way around the maze of 11 million pages on learning Pali. Okay, so there you go. There are lots of pages which have the question, how do I learn Pali? And you look on them and they tell you pretty much what I've told you already. Okay, so just to sum up then, if you're an independent student, if you're not affiliated to a university or a monastery, then navigating the online resources is not so easy. There's lots of resources. Who to trust? We don't know. There's so much information and there's no guidance if you're an independent student. How do you know it's a quality bit of information? is it user-friendly? I don't think that most things that are put together for free on the internet are very user-friendly. So websites can be a bit basic, and they're difficult because Pāli, if you're going to learn Pāli, is going to take quite a bit of time. Anything worthwhile doing in the world will take you time. There's no shortcut. You just have to carry on doing it. But that's a bit difficult if your only resources is free material on the web. You don't know what the structure of learning is. You have to plan it all yourself. You can get free books, but then you have to learn, you have to use the books, you have to read the books. The books might not be so easy to read if you don't have a teacher. In short, there is nothing like learning in a classroom with a teacher the old-fashioned way. That is the problem with trying to learn by yourself on the internet. Okay, so let me tell you what I've been doing with the Oxford Centre for Buddhist Studies the last few years to try and resolve some of these problems about online learning. So anyway, the OCBS, founded in 2004 by Professor Richard Gombrich. He was my PhD supervisor, so he's my teacher. He was the professor of Sanskrit in Oxford, and that's a picture of him. So there's Professor Richard Gombrich. In 2004, he founded the OCBS around the time of his retirement. The OCBS is a recognized independent centre of the University of Oxford. It's not, strictly speaking, part of the university. So the university doesn't give it any money. So it has no money. And it is trying to develop ways of learning and teaching that be a little bit more innovative, because it's not really part of the university. So Richard Gombrich, his academic career, he's focused mainly on Theravada Buddhism and early Buddhism. It's from him that I really learned Pāli. Now, specifically, what we started doing a few years ago was something called the Pli Online School. So, okay, we started in, I think it was 2014 or 2015, we started the Pli Online School. So just let me show you what that was like. So this, if you wanted to study Pāli, this was a new way of doing it, the Pli Online School. So the Pli Online School, the last one we did was in January this year. We probably will do one or two more next year. What it was essentially it was a 3-week online virtual seminar. So if you join this course, you will be working 6 days a week over 3 weeks. For about 4 to 5 hours a day, you would get tuition in a group with Professor Gombrich and me. So that's good. You get 3 weeks of intense Pāli. You have a course book specially written for the course, and it's very focused, and it follows a very particular method of learning. Now, not many people in the world have 3 weeks that they can take off to learn Pāli. That was the problem. And a lot of people found that 4 or 5 hours a day, it's pretty demanding. It's quite hard going. Finally, the cost, it was a bit prohibitive. The last one we did, we charged £750. It's not cheap. So to pay for anything quality, to get anything quality, you have to pay. And anyway, they were the problems with it. Sangha members we gave a 50% discount to, and we did have some monks and nuns registering to learn this. So, but anyway, if you could afford this, if you could take the time, it was very good, because the technology that we have now makes this possible. We use the Zoom platform, so everybody logged in, we could share documents on screen, we could move people into separate study rooms to do particular exercises, we could monitor the different study rooms, and we could bring everybody back. The technology makes this possible, but still, it's a demanding way of doing it. Okay, so maybe next year I will be leading one of these courses, and if you want to know about that, I can tell you, but it's a bit demanding, and so we've been trying to think of other ways to teach Pāli online. Okay, so the major benefit of doing this Pāli online school is it's a virtual classroom. It's like being in a classroom. You have face-to-face contact with other students, and you have a teacher who can tell you to work harder or to take it easy or to do this or to do that. The problem is it's a bit expensive and it takes a lot of time and commitment. So we created something new this year called the Pāli Online course. Now this is a new venture which we're still developing and creating, but we've started to release Pāli modules, which is on demand. And it's on demand, it's like Netflix. Everything is there, pre-recorded, and once you buy the course, very cheap, you have all the learning documents, instruction, videos that you need. Yeah, better than Netflix, I think. Okay, so I just show you this now. We click into it. So here is the new website. Do you want to learn Pāli? Hands up, anybody who wants to learn Pāli. Okay, so it's a nice, easy website. You want to learn Pāli, you just click on this.
ก็เป็นเว็บไซต์ที่ง่ายใช้ง่ายนะครับก็แค่คลิกเข้า
Click
ไป
on I want to learn Pāli, and you can learn Pāli. So let me explain a bit about these courses then. We have released two levels, two individual courses so far, Pāli Level 1, Pāli Level 2. They start with assuming you know nothing about learning Pāli or any language. Okay, so if you don't know anything about learning language, you don't know the discipline of studying languages, you don't know what a subject, a verb, or an object, or an adjective is, it explains everything from literally ground zero.